Hey guys, if you enjoy this episode, please support our podcast by going to talkmurder.com/join and becoming a Talco Supremo. Thought experiment. How many days could you go without any food whatsoever? Not a zip. Nothing but the good old taste of this planet's blue water. No lemon, of course. Fasting has been around for eons, from shamans to prophets to health nuts today. The restriction of food has always been a part of human history and culture. An English proverb once said, "He who eats until he is sick must fast until he is well." Plato fasted for greater physical and mental efficiency, and even Benjamin Franklin once said, "To lengthen thy life, lessen thy meals." Okay, so maybe all these gurus are onto something. But when does fasting go from healthy to health hazard? In this story, I'll explore that question by meeting one doctor whose fasting for life quickly turned to fasting for murder.
Welcome back to Talk Murder to Me. Happy Taco Tuesday, everybody.
It is only a few days away from our Columbia show at Swamp Cabbage Brewery.
They're doing a beer for us.
Are they?
I don't think they're brewing something different, but they are customizing the menu a little bit, making it fun for us. We've got some really cool stuff that we're going to do at the show. There's trivia. We do a lot of giveaways. We spend a lot of money on the people who come. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, we are in the teens as of right now. In number of tickets left. So pick them up if you haven't. All right, let's take a sip of this pink fluffy drink.
It looks good.
It is good, but it got watered down pretty fast.
That's okay. So this is the Raspberry Hazzard. It's essentially a raspberry margarita. But
yeah,
it's delicious.
it is good. A little hint of lime, but you can't really taste it. That's okay. And so you chose Hazard to use as your hint for the evening, Jen, although it was a very long hint.
Yes.
From John PD on Facebook. Ugh, Mondays. Oh, well, at least TM2M gets to record tonight. Oh, I almost forgot, but this year my goal is to lose some weight so people would say, ooh la la. Just a few inches should be enough, although I must be careful since many diets have hazards. And of course, I don't want to look like skin and bones. All caps. I hear the broth diet not only works, but also rids the body of poisons. Who's with me? Comment below. Motivated John.
Wait, what is the broth diet? You just drink broth all day?
Yeah. I mean,
I could do that.
Oh, I think that'd be terrible. I feel like I could do it for a day and then I'd be like, I am dying.
Yeah.
I feel that way about juice diets too. Like I feel like I could do it for a couple days, or like smoothie diets. I feel like I could do it for like 3 days and then I'd be like, okay, I'm done.
All right, where are we going? Who are we killing?
Well, I didn't. So I started looking at the comments and then I saw a couple people start guessing things. So I was like, I feel like people got this one. But I don't know the story. They were throwing out names. So I think in this story, there is like a doctor, dietitian, like guru type thing. You know, like they're like a spokesperson for a fad diet and they're supporting the bone broth diet or whatever that fad is.
That's really huge right now, actually.
And they accidentally kill a bunch of people. I do make good. Well, I make like a really good chicken soup too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, your chicken soup is the best.
But the bone broth is healthy.
It is very chicken soup can be very healthy depending on what you put in it. And I use take the chicken bones and really get that bone broth. I might
have to buy some supplies and ask you to make some for me.
Yeah.
I think we're going to France. And I think that this is an older story, kind of similar to Nicole's guess, like with a doctor maybe poisons their patients, and like patients that go to a specific doctor, and they get poisoned instead.
Oh.
Kind of similar to the Deacon of Death or the Angela, whatever her.
So mine, like, they're kind of willingly following this diet and they just die, but in yours, like, the doctor's poisoning them instead.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Are we anywhere warm, John?
I didn't really listen. Sorry. I didn't
Tell
listen.
us later if we were
It's
warm.
fine.
So congratulations to Rose and Lauren. You guys both hit it right on the head. Very good job. And Rose says she used to live near where this happened, but the property now is private. So she actually never went to visit, but she did read the book that I read so a few years ago. And then Lauren said, I can't tell you what she said because it'll give the story away. I read about this when I was reading about healthatoriums. I don't know what that is. After listening to the podcast about the cereal companies. If you like, Lauren, if you like the cereal companies, there's a book called Salt, Sugar, Fat that talks all about Kellogg and stuff like that. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
It's actually
How to get people to buy.
Yeah, it's actually really fucked up. It'd make you pretty sick. But you should check that out. But very good, guys. Both of you guys get the surprise shot tonight. This is dedicated to you guys.
Sweet.
And before we do that, we also have a Taco Supremo to welcome.
Woo!
JL.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it.
Is it? I don't know.
Wow. I was
Is that
thinking
right?
I think you're right.
JL.
I can only
JL.
say it once.
Well, that was way back. I was just way off.
She's from Orlando. Now,
Hey, we're going to be there soon, we think.
Well, not only that, but we've been watching a lot of live PD, and they're always down in Orlando.
Are they?
Somewhere around Orlando. Tallahassee, maybe.
Yeah, Tallahassee.
But
there is
that's
somewhere
not-
else in Florida,
all
though.
them swamp people
But I don't know if
down
it's in
there.
Yeah, you see some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Although I will say, South Carolina is on that a lot.
Yeah, and now they're
Yeah.
going to start with Somerville PD is going to be on.
Oh, really?
So thank you so much, JL, for becoming a Tacos Primo. And we're sending your swag out. For you Tacos Primos that joined in 2020, we're sending you the shirt. And if you are a current Tacos Primo from 2019, you can buy them at rock bottom prices.
Because we love you.
Basically at wholesale cost. That's it. So just contact Nicole on how to get those.
That's right. I've got most of the sizes down.
At nicole.pornhub.com.
I know what you did, Jen.
What did I do?
I know. I'm not even going to smell it because it's going to give it away. But I think you gave us tequila because we're already drinking tequila.
That does sound like something I would do, doesn't it? Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise.
And big shout out to Tyler. I was on Facebook shouting out the new Supremo, and you just sent us a message. So you get a shout out just because of the timing.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's Fruit Loop vodka. I don't even have to drink it.
You tricked me, Jen. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the tequila, but it does.
The Fruit Loop vodka? How's that bad?
It tastes like lemon pledge to me.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
But it also tastes like
Not
Fruit
that I've
Loops.
ingested lemon pledge before. Don't know how I would know that.
But
I can see that, though.
That actually wasn't bad, though. I remember us not loving it the first time we did it.
Yeah.
All right, Nicole. So I'm going to tell you I'm probably going to give it away really quick. See how good your geography is.
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay, this state insect is a dragonfly.
Ooh.
State insect.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Me neither. What is the state insect of South Carolina?
Probably the palmetto bug, I would assume.
Oh, that's a good guess. Yeah.
Carl
Makes sense.
Sagan is also from this state, and also Jimi Hendrix and Bill Gates calls this home.
Oh, I know.
Washington State.
Yeah, there you
And the
go.
Bill Gates really gave it
Yeah.
away.
All right, Kurt Cobain and Bob Barker is also from this state. So we're going
The person's
to.
wrong, bitch.
All right, we're going to Oolala, Washington.
Oh, the shit, that's a town?
Mm-hmm. It's right by Puget Sound.
Oh,
What
It's
a
a
fucking
very-
awesome name of a town.
Puget Sound is supposed to be really beautiful.
Okay, here's
Pretty.
the Oolala Community Club. Right there for you guys.
Wait, is it actually pronounced Oolala or is it Olala?
It's Oolala, but everyone
Oh.
calls it Oolala.
I would too. That's fucking awesome.
Because, I watched videos of people from there and they were calling it that, so.
It's actually cooler than where we are, which is Mount Pleasant. That's way cooler. Mount
What?
Pleasant just sounds boring in comparison.
Okay, Oolala is a very small, quote, unincorporated community in Kitsap County, Washington. So right by Puget Sound, right by Pierce County, which we've done plenty of stories from there, it seems like.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Lots of serial killers up in that woods.
Oolala's name is the Salashan and Chinook jargon word for berry. Are berries usually... So, all right, I was looking up a little bit of history of Oolala, right? And the settlers that... The Europeans that found this, right? As soon as they moved in, there was a Native American, just like all the towns are named after Native Americans, really. He goes up and this Indian yells something at him, and it was something with Oolala in it. What he was trying to say is, are you picking berries? But the settler took it for, that's a name of the town. He thought he was saying, welcome to Oolala, instead of, are you picking berries? So that's how that, fun fact, how Oolala's got its name.
Quite the different phrase.
Yeah, but that's really cool origin
Well, I mean,
story.
if you're a European that has never, as soon as we started settling in here, it's a completely different language,
Yeah.
not even close to
Yeah.
anything. So, but that name stuck, and that's where this small little city. I actually would love to live here. It's very small and very quaint. Like I said, it's unincorporated. There's
Puget sounds really nice, Nicole.
no big.
It is, it's very pretty out there. My sister used to live out in Woodby, and it's beautiful. It's just not the beach.
Nicole, please
Winters
describe.
are tough up there.
Yeah.
Please describe these ladies right here.
I'm not really sure how to describe
The
them.
1800s versions of Diana Ross and the Supremes.
No, just these two.
They're white.
Just these two on the left-hand side.
Oh, those are the Supremes, and the other one's Diana Ross.
Yeah, clearly. But I don't know how else
so
you can
they're
describe
wearing
it.
like a super long, almost like kimonos, but they're floor length, all the way to the arms, all the way up high in the neck, and their hair is all up in like these old-fashioned 1800s,
Okay,
Updos.
let me ask you something.
and they all be white bitches.
Okay, which one of these ladies is rich? Like beyond, which one of these ladies
The middle one.
are wealthy?
I think they all are. But are you asking me to pick one?
No, they're not all wealthy.
The middle.
I think the one that's smirking. Although the middle one, she has her arm around the other lady. That's a power move.
Exactly. She's expressing her dominance.
But then, like, the
She's
other
got her
lady,
arms
Filling
wrapped.
her boobs.
She's
No,
got her
she's not.
arms wrapped around them, and she's got to be in the middle.
Okay, all right, whatever. These two ladies right here are sisters, and this is of no relation. They don't even know each other.
Oh,
So these two right here are who we're talking about tonight. Claire Williamson is in the middle, and Dorothy Williamson is right here on the left. Go to talkmurder.com to see these beautiful ladies. And out
hey, for the 1800s, they're not bad. You know.
1800, no, it was 1911.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Close enough.
Okay, so one of those two ladies I showed you is going to die.
Womp womp womp.
We do expect
Perhaps
someone
both.
dies in this podcast.
Perhaps both. I'm going to do an episode when no one dies.
Oh,
And you're gonna
that'll
be
just
like,
fuck
what
with
the
us.
fuck?
We have done stories where people haven't died, actually. Jamie Kloss, she technically
That's
did not
right.
die.
Yeah, but her parents got shot by
Oh,
shotguns.
shit. Yeah, they did.
So
Somebody did
thanks for
die.
bringing that up.
Yeah.
You're
Not that
right.
she's
She's
gonna listen
doing
to
okay.
this.
You're right.
Y'all don't care if she's doing okay.
I
or not.
care. I
Who
actually
gives a
thought about
shit?
her the other day.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
I did because I was.
Yeah,
I
she's gonna
care
be
for her
really happy
well-being.
with you guys like making a podcast about her. I'll tell you that
Listen.
right
You know,
now.
I was driving on my way to work and there was.
That's the last thing she wants is another podcast with her story in it. Dora, Dorothy, and Claire, they're sisters. Now, let me tell you a little bit about these two.
Wait, I thought you said the third. So there are three sisters, but that
No,
picture.
no, two sisters.
There's two sisters. The other one in that picture I showed you
Okay,
was
Dora.
just grouped in with all of them. They don't actually know each other. They're
Dorothy
two-
goes by Dora.
Dorothy, oh, yeah. Dorothy, Dora, same thing.
Well, you said Dora, Dorothy, and
It's like
Claire.
the same shit.
And I thought, sorry.
All right, Dorothy, I'm going to call her Dora. I'm going to call her Dora from now on. Dora and Claire, they're sisters. They're actually from British, not nobility, but British wealth. Their father had amassed an enormous estate, right? Their mother dies, then the father dies, and there was really no plan to continue the profit gathering or whatever you want to call it. So the estate was handed down to these two ladies. So they are extremely rich, both of them. And they're both very young. I mean, they're coming on 30s when you saw that picture. So a little bit about these two sisters. So they have this estate, and they're, from what I know about them, from what I read, they're very secretive with their, quote, business activities. So basically, in a nutshell, these two rich 30-somethings, 29 and a half somethings, are traveling the world. Now, Claire is the older sister. Dora is the youngest. They're traveling the world from Australia to like Italy, all these places. Basically, everywhere they go, they're stopping and getting a full spa treatment. Like, that's how they travel the world.
Oh my God, must be nice. I
Wow.
really need a massage so bad.
I mean, they're
Same.
and their uncle and relatives in intermediate family would always ask them about, you know, what they're doing, because now they got this huge estate and they really don't know what to do with it.
Like, how's the business?
How's the business? Exactly.
What are you doing to keep up the estate?
Exactly.
Because estates are very expensive to run.
Exactly. So, and what they would say, and some of this is true, but they would just be like, we're furthering our father's legacy and his business. We're buying properties in Italy and properties in France.
I was just gonna ask, like, how one runs an estate. Like, doesn't the money just stay in a fund? I don't actually know.
No, it's not a state like a big mansion. A state like a wealth.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Oh, I
vehicle.
thought you meant like the houses like Downton Abbey.
No.
Oh.
I mean like a vehicle for wealth, kind of. You know what I'm
So
saying?
like a
Yeah.
trust fund type of thing.
Yeah,
Like, how do you keep it
but
growing?
So I mean, estate now means kind of different, but estate
like
back
affairs?
then means
Business affairs.
estate back then means like a vehicle for wealth, like a fund, and
Gotcha.
you know,
I was
a whole
taking it
portfolio, if you will.
I was taking it very literally and thinking about Downton Abbey.
I mean, they do have a big mansion. Yeah, they do in
Yeah.
Britain.
And those
they
are
also
very
have
expensive.
property in France and Italy. And they were basically traveling around. So, like, when their family was like, you know, what are you guys doing? They were really secretive. Oh, we're furthering our father's business. You know, we're expanding and all this stuff, buying properties, this, that, and the other. In reality, they kind of were doing that, but mostly they were just going traveling and getting spa treatments.
So they were just like spending the money instead of investing.
They were spending a lot more money than they were
supposedly making
yeah.
in their returns.
Exactly. So, and that's not really a huge part of the story, but it kind of is because, and I know you guys don't really know what it's like to be rich, but let me try to explain
Definitely not.
I'm going to try to explain it the best way
Because
For
John
y'all.
was rich for one period.
for y'all,
point in time.
paupers out there. I'm going to try to explain
When
what being-
John lived in a hotel.
yeah.
Hey, I lived in a hotel.
No. John lived in a hotel.
I paid $300 a week because I stayed at the ghetto ass in town suites on Ashley Phosphate Road.
All right.
That's
so,
right. I got some street cred. I've been told.
So here's how rich people work. All right. we get sick like today for instance.
He's saying he's like one of them.
No. No, let me start over. All right.
Where is that money at?
Y'all normal people out there.
Excuse me.
Okay, y'all go
Us
through
average
y'all
Joes.
have regular ailments, right? Your knee hurts.
My
you know,
back
you got
hurts. My neck hurts.
boob problems.
I do have boob problems.
You got freaking your butthole is loose
Okay,
or
well,
whatever.
let's not.
That's
got,
not a
like,
problem for me.
You know, ovary problems or I'm just coming the first thing that's coming to my
I actually
mind.
do have ovary problems.
Your hair's falling out, you're growing hair on your butthole but not on your head. Like all these problems that y'all have every day. Okay.
I try to comment on every single one.
Yeah, same. But I
crossed the line.
You lost me there. I'm gonna need some more margarita pretty soon. Oh.
Yeah, same.
Y'all look like y'all have a ponytail hanging out.
Oh my god! Ew, no!
God.
Oh my gosh! One time,
So when y'all run,
fucked
it looks
up.
like you're flying.
you guys know.
All right. So what I'm trying to say, and I didn't really say it right, is all the problems y'all have, like growing ponytails and stuff like that, y'all live with that. Okay. But as soon as a rich person has anything like their back hurts for one day or they have a cold, it's like the end of the damn world.
Sounds like a man.
And they
cold.
think their body is decomposing right there. So they're going to go get the most expensive treatment, even like for a stupid shit like a cold or a headache or, a uterus
They go to
that
a
is
doctor.
misaligned.
They go to a doctor right away and get it fixed.
Well, not only doctor, but
I
they
feel like
get
a
the most
misaligned
expensive.
uterus is actually a legitimate problem, though.
What these girls, they had these ailments that normal people have every fucking day. They both had some problems, but as the more I read about it, they were common problems. But if you're rich and you're wealthy and everything's supposed to be perfect and great and grand and riding on ponies, then these problems are exacerbated, right? So this is one of the problems that Claire Williamson, the older sister, had. Now, keep in mind, this really isn't a huge problem. She just blew it out of proportion.
Claire Williamson imagined her uterus dragged like a dead dog on a leash, pressing on her spine and inflaming the tissues. It had been that way on and off since she was 27.
I don't know if that's a simple problem. That sounds painful.
But also, she imagined her uterus. It sounds like maybe she just had some bad cramps.
Did they even know what uteruses were back then? Like,
I guess I had some idea. The way the old family doctor described it to me was that if she had been a working woman, he could have fixed some little appliance that would enable her to work in an ordinary way. He said thousands of women go around in that way, but as she had the means and was not obliged to work, he recommended her to keep quiet and let her assert herself. She used to lie down a great deal, but she was not suffering.
Yeah, so I'm going back. Dora, she had, quote, acute arthritis in her knees. So basically what we all deal with. And a London osteopath told her that her uterus dropped back on her spine and her ovaries were badly inflamed.
well,
Claire also had uterus problems.
were they planning on having kids? It sounded like they had an empire to run. Like,
They
were
got no time
they were
for that.
spinsters. They were in their 30s back then.
Yeah.
The osteopath actually told her, this is what you do to relieve the pain. You take a wad of cotton batting, you soak it in boric acid and glycerin, and you insert it into your vagina
What?
for 24 hours, 3 times per week. And that will relieve congestion. And it didn't work.
I don't know about that.
Sounds intense.
She also suffered. Dora also suffered from nervous exhaustion as a child, which led to, quote, morbid cravings for food. But you saw her. Morbid cravings for food, exhaustion.
I have fucking
It's being
morbid
fucking
cravings.
rich. You ain't got nothing to do but sit around. That's a fucking life. Well lived. Not exhausted. Holy shit.
Cheers
Holy fuck.
as we go to high up.
Like, what the fuck? The sisters had planned to set sail for London on May 18th, 1911, and they actually ended up in Seattle, which we're about to talk about, and they were basically traveling the world, spending daddy's money, quote, and their family would always ask about them, and they would say, quote, private matters concerning father's estate are taking us away on business. But overall, they were both in really good health.
That's such a political statement.
Yeah.
Okay, so they heard of this miracle treatment.
Ooh.
Okay.
Do tell.
And this was all in the papers. There was this doctor. She was in Seattle. Now, they're in Britain, okay? So they're going to have to make the trip all the way to Seattle if they want to get this treatment for their uterus.
It's a long way away in 1911.
How did that make that all the way from America to the British papers?
That's a good question. The moral of the story is fads spread.
Yeah, like those muscle contracting machines that I'm going to buy so it'll help me.
Oh my God, I see ads for them all the freaking time. Same. And they're like, I'm like, maybe?
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, like, I kind of want to try this.
That just doesn't work. All right, so this...
But they make you think it does.
Yeah, right?
This book changed everything. It's like that book, The Secret.
The Secret is real, okay?
No, it's not fucking real because I wanted a red bicycle and those assholes brought me a blue bicycle.
Oh, no.
You remember that kid like getting a red bicycle? Yeah, I just thought about this yesterday. I'm fucking
there is something really interesting. One of the main guys who was on The Secret got in trouble. Like he accidentally killed 3 people in a sweat lodge, and it's on a Netflix documentary. It was really interesting.
Because here's the secret: it's fucking fake. So don't believe that shit.
I believe in positive thoughts impact your.
I believe in
your
that too.
mental space.
Well, that's positive psychology too.
However,
but you can't dream of fucking having $1 million and then
no, you don't dream it. You have to speak it out into the universe.
Well, that's stupid. If you believe that,
but then you have to go work for it.
All right. Anyway, this miracle cure came out, and I definitely want to try it. Nicole, read that for us.
Fasting for the cure of disease.
Oh, kind of like intermittent fasting now.
I know. This is a legitimate fad right now.
Yeah, it is. And so intermittent fasting is basically you go 12 hours without eating, and then I think it's, well, no, actually you go 8 hours. You can only eat in an 8-hour period during the day.
We were doing this for a short period of time.
Did it work?
So you would wake up, you don't eat breakfast, you eat your first meal at 2 p.m., and then you stop eating like at 8 or something like that.
I kind of do this generally because
here's why
I don't
works.
eat breakfast.
Yeah, here's why it works. And I think that actually does work because your body goes through the whole day of burning carbohydrates and sugar. And that only takes...
You go into ketosis.
Yeah, so that only takes like 12 hours. So if you surpass that, your body has to burn something else, and the next available thing is... Fat, right? Body fat. So that's why that works. But basically, fasting is bullshit. That's just killing yourself. Because then your body starts eating its muscles.
According to my meme, that's how Ted Bundy lost 25 pounds in 6 days.
Right?
Well, he lost that shit so he can like slip out of the jail cell.
But I'm just saying. That was the perfect timing of when I had that.
He spoke it into the universe that he's like, I'm going to lose enough weight to get out of here.
He was also doing like squat thrusts so he can land his 15-foot drop out of the courthouse.
Squat thrusts are no joke.
So this came out, fasting for the cure of disease. Now, the story I'm telling you about tonight is a doctor. Her name is Dr. Linda Hazzard. Now, I couldn't actually find where she received her medical degree because I'm pretty sure it was just fake. So she's in the process of building this huge hospital, and she lives in Ooh La La, Washington. So they decide, they read the book. Well, I think they read like a page or two, and they just bought into it because this is a very popular book. And I want you to keep in mind that this is a very controversial cure at the time. She's actually licensed in Washington to practice this. So here's basically what happens. You go and see Dr. Linda Hazzard, and you don't eat for fucking 40 days. Okay.
40 days?
This isn't...
That's some Jesus shit.
Yeah.
This is... No, if you read her book...
I bet that was symbolic.
I'm putting her book on talkmurder.com, the PDF version of the actual
Disclaimer,
books.
do not follow this diet.
Oh, yeah. No, probably not.
I bet you I could do it.
There was actually something on... I remember we started watching it on like Amazon Prime, and it was somebody who tried not to eat for 40 days.
Yeah, and it was fake.
And we stopped watching it because we were like, yeah, that's dumb.
It's fake. He went 20 days and he was like the same way. It's like, I'm drinking water. It's like Jesus did. I'm like, dude, this is not even real. Like, why are we watching this? I'll put those books on talkmurder.com if you want to read them. They're very interesting. We're going to be reading some kind of the quotes from the books tonight. But there were some patients that have already, how do you want to say, met their demise with this cure. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They died.
From starvation.
From starvation, yeah.
Okay.
But the Williamson sisters, I mean, they just wanted the best of the best. And she, at the time, was like John Axe, Dr. Axe, or Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
One of those miracle doctors, you know, the Dr. Oz and stuff. He's like, Garcinia will make you lose 3,000 pounds in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I
type of
tried
shit.
that. Didn't work.
But now you got to keep in mind, Dora and Claire weren't going to lose weight. You saw the picture of them. Did they look big to you? No,
No,
they
were
looked
skinny.
average. And this
They
is
were
at-
skinny.
Yeah, skinny. So they wanted to lose a little weight, and they were self-conscious about the little bit of weight they had.
Oh, poor me. I have to lose 5 pounds so that I can spend my millions of dollars for a even richer man than
But
what I can get right now.
what they really wanted was ultimate health. And they did have these sicknesses like their uterus and stuff like that. But fuck, they were fine. Okay? They were fucking
It
fine.
was in their head.
I didn't do a good job explaining it, but rich people, they want like everything to be grandiose all the fucking time. If they
Yeah.
have one problem,
It can
if
be
like
fixed.
they like stub their toe, then that's like the end of the fucking world. So they want to get the best treatment for that stub toe. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway,
You know, there's nothing worse than stubbing your toe first thing in the morning.
all right, so they go to Seattle, Washington. Now they actually start the treatment. They started the treatment on February 26th, 1911. Now, this is the first problem. Okay, keep in mind they're very, very wealthy. And even though they don't bring a suitcase filled with $1 bills crumpled up, people can tell they're fucking wealthy. And their family's been bugging them about, you better be not spending all that money and all this stuff. So what do? They don't even tell their fucking family they're going to see this quack doctor, right? That's going to cure them of everything and make them live forever. Claire wrote a letter to Dr. Hazzard on February 7th, 1911. Now, they were in correspondence back and forth. And I want to point out the whole time she's never gave her like a questionnaire or even done an exam or anything. You know, she just was like, yeah, come on. You know, I haven't got the sanitarium built yet, you know, my offices, but we'll put you in this nice little apartment and we can start the program today. All right, so this is what the last letter that she sent to Dr. Hazzard before they started.
Claire tried to explain her position in a letter to the doctor written on February 7th, 1911. Unfortunately, we cannot tell them we are going to stop in Seattle to do a fast, as already they disapprove of our way of living. In fact, we are not mentioning it to anyone.
Okay, so being the holder of such great wealth and not telling people where you're going, you know what I'm saying, is the first no-no.
It's interesting because, I mean, I guess today celebrities, I mean, privacy is a huge thing with celebrities, but I'm sure they have at least one person who knows, like, where they are at all times because of
Yeah.
things like this.
All right, so before we actually get started with the girls' treatments, I want to go over one of the other patients who actually died about the time that they arrived. Okay. So this is kind of long, but if you want to read this, Nicole, this is the journal entries of one Earl Erdman. Now, he went there to lose weight, and the whole time is about 2-month period, he journaled everything.
February 1st. Saw Dr. Hazzard and began treatment this date. No breakfast. Mashed soup dinner. Mashed soup supper. February 5th through 7th. 1 orange breakfast. Mash soup dinner. Mash soup supper. February 8th. 1 orange breakfast. Mash soup dinner. Mash soup supper. February 9th through 11th. 1 orange breakfast, strained soup dinner, strained soup supper.
Now, strained means
Broth.
the broth. So you basically, if she's doing tomato soup, she'll take maybe 3 or 4 tomatoes, crush them up, boil them, and then strain them so you don't actually get the tomatoes, you just get the broth. And she actually, as you'll see, would double strain them to
so it's
get
just like
less
water.
of the nutrients out.
So like, what is mashed soup? Is that like vegetables that are just crushed up in the soup? Like what? Or is it like?
It's like mashed peas.
I would guess.
I like pea soup. Pea soup is really good.
February 12th, 1 orange breakfast, 1 orange dinner, 1 orange supper. February 13th, 2 orange breakfast, no dinner, no supper. February 14th, 1 cup of strained tomato broth at 6 p.m. February 15th, 1 cup hot strained tomato soup night and morning. February 16th, 1 cup hot strained soup a.m. and p.m. Slept better last night. Head quite dizzy. Eyes yellow streaked and red.
All right, so wait, stop right there. So this is 16 days. You think you could do that?
No, fuck no.
But
I mean, you had me till like day 3.
Right there, he said slept better last night.
But it's interesting. He didn't talk about how he was feeling at all until here.
Yeah.
Only what he ate.
Yep.
February 17th, ate 3 oranges today. February 19th, called Dr. Donson today at his home. Slept well Saturday night. February 20th, ate strained juice of 2 small oranges at 10 a.m. Dizzy all day. Ate strained juice of 2 small oranges at 5 p.m. February 21st, ate 1 cup settled and strained tomato broth. Backache today, just below the ribs. February 22nd, ate juice of 2 small oranges at 10 a.m. Backache today and right side just below the ribs. February 23rd, slept but little last night. Ate 2 small oranges at 9 a.m. Went after milk and felt very bad. Ate 2 small oranges 6 p.m. February 24th, slept better Wednesday night. Kind of frontal headache in the a.m. Ate 2 small oranges 10 a.m. Ate 1.5 cups hot tomato soup at 6 p.m. Heart hit up to 95 a minute and sweat considerable. February 25th, slept pretty well Thursday night. Ate 1.5 cups of tomato broths 11 a.m. Ate 1.5 cups tomato broth 6 p.m. Pain in right below ribs. February 26th, did not eat so well Friday night. Pain in right side just below the ribs and back. Pain quit in night. Ate 1.5 cups tomato broth at 10:45 a.m. Ate 2.5 pump small oranges at 4:30 p.m. Felt better afternoon than for last week.
Okay, so that's when it stops. He was actually hospitalized on March 28th. Now, the reason it stops is because, as you'll see, when you don't eat anything, you don't have any energy to fucking write. And your handwriting gets sloppier and sloppier and sloppier. It's just like that movie we watched with the apples.
Yep.
That's a really good movie.
Exactly
if you guys,
what I was thinking.
Yeah, go to
What
Netflix and watch. It's called I can't remember what it's called, but it's a true story about this
Documentary.
It's a documentary about this woman that
She had a mental illness.
mental illness. She was in a mental hospital and she escaped and she went into this abandoned house. She journals everything up until the day that she passes. But it's amazing. You should definitely watch it. It's a tearjerker. You'll love it.
Oh, that does sound like something I'd enjoy.
You'll watch it and it make you feel not feel better, but it make you feel good that whoever made the documentary went to such a link to, kind of memorialize it for her. February 27th, 1911 is the first day for Claire and her sister. Now, Claire is kind of the protector. She's the older sister. And Dora's kind of the one that needs to be taken care of all the time. Okay. Her office was actually in the Northern Bank and Trust building. So this huge building is still standing today because at the time she didn't have her own sanitarium. Now that was her dream. Dr. Hazzard's dream is to build her own huge sanitarium with 100 beds and everyone's fasting and everyone's living healthy and living life, right? So instead of being in the sanitarium at first, they got an apartment right next to the office building, and they started doing the treatment from that apartment. Eventually, they moved to a cabin in Ulala, okay? And they had their own separate cabins, the 2 girls, and they were undergoing the treatment there. So this is basically her rates, $60 per patient per month. Now, this is in 1911, okay? That includes 1 daily office visit, and you have to buy your own food, but obviously it's not a lot. You're buying like 2 tomatoes a month, right?
Oh God.
Oh, that's depressing.
That is something that I can afford. So, I mean, again, pros of this diet, weight loss, and cheap.
So far.
Additional charges would be ensued for more consultations with the doctor. There are also daily enemas and osteo...
Is that something that goes up your butt?
Yeah.
No, enemas, like they clean your boot hole out.
Yeah.
Almost from the first week at Buena Vista, something seemed amiss. Even though neither sister had fainted once in their lives, fainting became so common around the Buena Vista that neither seemed to give it a second thought. Dora heard her sister fall to the floor in the kitchen one afternoon, but she didn't feel well enough to get up to look after her.
Now, this is going on the first week. They're already fainting. And keep in mind, they weren't even fat to begin with. They didn't even need to lose weight. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to lose weight.
They don't even have a lot of body fat stored.
Exactly.
But I thought they were going because of the uterus issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're actually going to fix some other ailments in their body. Okay, but there was no consultation, no questionnaire, no exam, nothing.
This is a one-size-fits-all.
One size fits all. Okay, it's going to be really hard to convey this in this story, but the amount of respect that these two sisters had for this doctor and the belief, okay, it's kind of like, Tony Robbins. Mm-hmm. If you were to like go and talk to him if you were to go spend a week with him, everything that guy would say would be gospel.
Right.
He could say...
Because you're spending a shit ton of money with him.
He could say, listen, if you want to achieve wealth and happiness, you need to eat this white dog poop. You need to eat this white dog poop that is on my golf course, my private golf course right now.
That actually sounds disgusting.
You know what I'm saying? But you would, because
I don't know.
He would say you need to eat this white dog poop because it will bring you positive thoughts and you'll be able to manifest anything you want in life.
I don't think you could pay me enough to eat dog poop.
This dog poop is sacred. This golf course of mine was actually on sacred Indian burial ground, and the dog poop is now blessed.
First of all,
if you eat this dog poop, you will live the life you've always dreamed of. You probably would do it.
Yeah. No. Because first of all, nothing would make me want to do anything on an Indian burial ground. Living up in Massachusetts, knowing about the history of the Indians, you don't F with that. Number 2, no dog poop for me.
But the principle of it, you're going to literally eat their shit.
You're going to eat their shit because they're giving the shit and they make a lot of money with giving the shit.
Look how much better I am, Dora said one time as she stood up to walk to greet Webb. I can walk. The instant she stepped forward in her joy of getting better, she keeled over and fell flatly against the hardwood floor.
Ow.
That's terrible, but it's terrible, but it's kind of funny. I can walk. No, you can't.
If his story was nowadays, it'd be pretty heartbreaking. I mean, these guys would be dead anyway. But now let me talk about the internal baths, which, I do these, but not quite as much. So basically, you drink about 6 quarts of warm water a day.
Isn't that terrible for your system if you, I know being dehydrated is bad, but isn't being overhydrated
Well,
really
she's not
bad?
really a doctor. Let's keep that in mind.
But also, isn't it not
You
good
could die from that.
Isn't it not good to take in something that's the same temperature or greater than your internal body temperature?
This is all pseudoscience bullshit. All right. Not only that, but there was this bathtub, and here's how I'm picturing it. The best way they described it. It's like you have this bathtub, like this Victorian looking bathtub, right? Like in the 1900s.
Like a clawfoot tub?
And then over on top of the bathtub, like above, not touching the bathtub, is like a mesh hammock that you can sit on that's not touching the bathtub. Okay. Then you sit on your side and you basically spread your booty hole, and they put that enema tube. And so the warm water goes into your butthole and then it drains into the bathtub. That's basically the setup they had.
No!
That was the setup they were using.
There's not enough tequila to be had for that.
Okay, the first day, this was part of the treatment. Okay, this had to be done. So not only are you not eating, but you're getting enemas. And the first day, the enema was not bad. It was like 15 minutes. It actually felt good. But then every day, the enema time would increase. First, it went to 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
Then it went to an hour, sometimes 2 or 3 hours. And on some occasions, it was the entire day.
Yeah, my butthole's tightly clenched right now.
Wait, hang on. Okay, so an enema, I know you talked about this in your other podcast, Quackery, a little bit. No, you talked about blowing smoke up your ass.
Are you pushing my other podcast?
No, I'm just saying, like, an enema, because I only knew I first heard of an enema when we saw that thing on the Strange Addictions when they were talking about coffee enemas.
It's just gross.
So they stick a tube up your
boofing.
butt.
Yeah, and they just basically shoots water up there and cleans out the fecal matter.
It's like doing a detox cleanse
in reverse,
but like skipping the ingesting part of it. You know
how your intestine goes around. Yeah, they say if you stretch your intestine out, it can like go around the moon or some shit.
Well, I don't think that's accurate.
But
nope, doesn't sound right.
It's like a mile or something.
But Dr. Will?
No, it could go around the earth like 3 times.
No.
Yeah, it cannot stretch it out, but the cells, it just in a line. Yeah, it can. Okay, whatever. I read science. But if that has fecal matter in it and it gets stuck in there, so they take a tube with hot water that shoots out and get all the fecal matter out. That's how it works.
And they put it in a bathtub?
No, the bathtub is just so it doesn't go all over the floor.
Wouldn't they want to put the other end in the toilet?
Here, read that damn thing, Nicole, if you want to know more about it.
I have a question. Do detox cleanses really work? Do they help you lose weight?
Yes, it does work, but it will help you clear your colon out too.
Can we get IHOP after this?
Babe.
I want some fucking pancakes.
Oh my God.
I'd be down, actually.
After that, canvas yardage was stretched over the rim of the bathtub in a hammock, which allowed the sisters to continue even when supporting their own weight. Knee chest style was too difficult.
Okay, did I explain it?
Yeah.
You guys got the picture from what I got? Oh shit, I probably should shout out this book that we're reading. Guys, tonight, go to talkmurder.com to get the link to the book. We're reading a book called Starvation Heights by Greg Olson. He's a pretty famous writer of true crime. This is actually Dr. Hazzard right there. Very pretty lady right there.
No.
She was a looker.
There she's not terrible.
She was pretty hot in her young pictures. Let me show you. Anyway, this is called Starvation Heights. We're reading from the book there. It's by Greg Olson. He's written a couple of them. I know I've read one of his books. I don't know which one. At this point in my life, all these authors just kind of go in this big bowl of stew, and it doesn't really matter anyway.
And then you strain it and then feed it to your captives once a day?
Yeah, with an orange.
A little quote here from Dr. Leonard Burfield Hazzard. Quote, overeating is the vice of the whole human race.
So you could say that again.
Yeah. As we plan our IHOP trip.
You know what? As the more I read this book,
I know.
Here's the problem
starvation.
Here's the thing that you guys are going to see with this. This lady is a serial killer. Okay, and I'm gonna portray that to you.
Interesting. Oh, now we're crossing that line. She's not doing this just because she wants to help people. She's doing this to murder people.
No, I'm saying she is a serial killer. Okay.
But does she want to kill people, or does she try to help people?
I don't know, because I really do believe that she thinks this is the cure-all.
Here's my thing.
I think she's very convinced in her own head that this is the thing. And a lot of times it works. I have a lot of testimonials here from actual patients that survived that, had gout and they had, inflamed arteries, or they had bowel issues, and they're completely cured.
Well, yeah, if you have bowel issues and then you don't eat, you're obviously not.
No, but after the 30 days, they go back to eating, and then they're cured of their ailment that they had. So I can definitely see the appeal. It's one of those controversial things where some people just achieve great results, right? And some people just die.
Is the plan
the
laid out in the
spectrum.
book anywhere. I'm asking for a friend.
What?
What's the diet plan?
Yeah, it's
well,
the
we
diet
just
plan.
read.
That's
You've
the
got a
fucking
whole
diet plan. I told you the book is on talkmurder.com. Go there and download it.
So
It's
that's
fucking free.
So it's in the diet
Yeah,
plan's
it's
in the
fucking
book.
free.
All right. Well, I'll tell my friend about
what
it.
Nicole read is basically, I could tell you what the diet is. Basically, just don't fucking eat anything. And if you all you eat
the
is
occasional
broth,
orange and the occasional broth.
That was one of the first patients. The Dora, they're eating nothing but broth. And the broth is double strained. All right, anyway, let me get on with this. All right, this is a random patient. Go ahead, Nicole, read that.
One case she frequently recalled was that of Mrs. J.B. Barnett, a 65-year-old woman from Kansas City, Missouri. In many ways, it was typical of the doctor's medical epics. Mrs. Barnett had never been well, suffering from chronic constipation and aggravated bilious attacks. Until she undertook the fasting treatment, she was afflicted with an unshakable and debilitating melancholia, resulting in mild suicidal tendencies. She had been a burden to her family for years.
Same.
The doctor outlined the treatment. On arrival, the 2-meal regimen was immediately begun on the strictly vegetarian basis that the treatment is based upon. And, by the way, the patient had been an enormous meat eater. After a week of this, 1 meal was dropped, and the daily repast fixed at the regular 6 o'clock dinner of hour of my family. She began to also have the foulest discharges from the bowels, and each enema brought away quantities of old fecal matter with quantities of bile, blackish in color.
That doesn't sound healthy at all.
Well, she may have been clogged up there if she had constipation issues. Hunger manifested itself about the 43rd day, and the tongue showed clean on the 44th, but we waited until the morning of the 46th before feeding a small bowl of diluted bean broth, which tasted like the nectar to a system renewed, as it seemed to her own people, miraculously.
She's
46
cured.
days?
She's cured of all of her ailments. And you see where it says the tongue... So hunger manifested and the tongue showed clean. So this doctor, Dr. Linda Hazzard, believed that the tongue would actually show the disease. It was kind of like the window to the disease. So if you didn't have a clean tongue, your body was diseased and poisoned in some way. So basically here, I got the perfect...
You're like,
way.
is Team John?
Well,
Let's
hold on,
go try this diet.
I have the
No, that's
perfect...
Team Jen.
I have the perfect way to describe her psychology right now, as far as the medical treatments, okay? There's poison in everyone's body from eating meat, from eating all this bullshit humans shouldn't eat. The poison has built up over years and years and years and years and years. The only way to get rid of that poison is to fast. Your body will naturally excrete it all if there's nothing in your system at all. That was what she believed, and that it worked in a lot of cases. She has a lot of success stories, okay? When she does go to prison, because she does, she had a lot of backers that were like, dude, we support you and all this stuff, and we'll get to that. But some people really believed in this shit. I mean, so I don't know, man. This isn't the Team John thing, because, I mean, obviously you'll see why here in a second, but these two sisters really were needing help. Now, we're going on week 2 now, and they are fainting all over the place.
I am hungry for them.
And they're not even, all right, once she does get her sanitarium, and at first it was cabins, but in the town, people would describe it as walking zombies because they would have to go to the store.
I bet it fucking looked like it. Their like eyes are probably have terrible
Their eyes
circles.
their eyes are sunken in. They're complete skin and bones, and they're walking very slow, sometimes crawling to the grocery store.
Oh my gosh.
Because they
their
don't
one
have
orange for
the
the week?
energy. So anyway, Dr. Hazzard actually assigned a nurse to the sisters because they requested it, because they're sucking. They can't even do anything. I mean, they have no energy. Like, your body doesn't work if you don't have any energy. So this nurse, the first one we're talking about, Nurse Sherman, she actually began to take on the project. Now, she didn't want to take it on because she's the private nurse, but she knows how to fix them, AKA give them something to fucking eat. But now she's like nursing them to death almost, right? So
We know of no other. Dr. Hazzard said you would come. Please. Nurse Sherman very reluctantly agreed. She would call on them, but not for any length of time. Come at once, please. Dora used both hands to lift the telephone receiver back to its hook on the wall. It weighed less than a pair of coddled eggs, yet it seemed beyond her strength. Her bony hands cut a shard of metal from the hook and she started to bleed. Blood polka-dotted the floor. Oh, look at the dreadful mess I have made. Dr. Hazzard shall be completely disappointed in me, she told her sister.
now they're living in the Buena Vista apartments because the sanitarium's not built yet. The neighbors are starting to complain because they're
People are shitting everywhere. And
they're hearing these moans and groans. Let me go ahead and break the tension right now. Dora actually survives this whole mess.
Ooh.
But do you want me to show you what she was going through?
You have
Yes.
pictures?
We have one picture of her. This is when she was rescued from Dr. Linda Hazzard. This is what she looked like. Let me show you her before picture again. Okay, that's her before picture right there. That's Dora.
Mhm.
You see her?
Very skinny already.
Okay, now I'll put this side by side and see if you notice a difference.
Holy shit. She's like a freaking mummy. She already looks deceased.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She legit looks like a skeleton.
How much do you
in a
think she
dress.
weighs right there?
85 pounds.
72 pounds.
When they got her from the cabins and basically rescued her, she was 50 pounds. 50 pounds.
Oh my God. And how tall was she?
She's 50 pounds. Wait, what?
Wow, that's a lot to carry around down there.
That's like the size of her dog. Hubble is 50 pounds.
Hubble is
Not even.
Not
like,
even.
Stella's 50 pounds.
Well, yeah, 50 pounds. That
That
woman
is-
weighs 50 fucking pounds.
Oh my God. She weighs.
Okay.
literally looks like a corpse.
So that is
Yeah,
what
yeah, she
that's what I'm
does.
trying to tell you guys. Like that's going to help you when you're reading this stuff.
Oh my God. I can't
I mean,
even
it looks. You're right, Jen. It looks like the fucking Mummy movie.
No, not even the Mummy movie. She looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Yes, from Tales from the Crypt.
Okay, so now you guys got a good idea of what we're dealing with.
Shit.
How is she alive at 50 pounds? I mean, I last weighed 50 pounds when I was in first grade. Like,
Oh
what?
hell yeah, you haven't weighed that in a while.
I think I weighed 50 pounds when I was like 6 months, and that was the last time I weighed 50 pounds.
The change in Sister's physical appearance was so sudden, it jarred a number of the residents at the Buena Vista. Claire and Dora's weight had dropped shockingly so. Mrs. Fields estimated that, though clothing obscured their figures somewhat, Dora likely weighed about 100 pounds and her sister Claire, slightly more robust.
now this is before. Excuse me. This isn't the 50-pound girl. This is 3 weeks in.
Weighed in the low 120s. As the days and weeks passed, they shed their weight, pound by pound, day after day, and began to take on a hideous appearance. Mrs. Fields began to avoid them. Deep, dark lines etched the area around their mouths. Their rheumy eyes were hollow and underscored with a dark smudge of skin. Their hands were bony, knuckles raising up the skin like rows of 4 tiny tentpoles.
The treatment. What does it cure? Cancer, toothache, psoriasis, heart trouble, tuberculosis, epilepsy, insanity, which means women hysteria. They still haven't found a cure for that.
Vibrators were the cure for that.
No bread at all.
Oh,
Do not eat bread.
I'm out.
Go ahead, Nicole, read that.
Breads made from yeast are tabooed entirely, and only cornbread unraised may occupy their place.
I like cornbread,
Me too.
but I don't like savory cornbread. I like like the sweeter cornbread, you know?
A fresh foundation is there to work upon, a new and thoroughly cleansed body, ready to take up its labors, and with proper hygienic and dietetic care to carry them on indefinitely.
Okay, but you can eat a shit ton of broth. Well, actually, about 2 spoonfuls a day.
This fast calls for a cup of this broth twice a day. Later, we will vary the stock to include an asparagus broth, and some orange juice will be allowed in the mornings.
An
Asparagus broth sounds fucking terrible. In my mind, that sounds and smells like the pea that your pea becomes.
Now, I like asparagus, though.
Now, she believed, and I really think she believes this. Like, I'm not conveying it right, but she is diehard on this diet. On not this diet, but this cure for everything. Fucking everything.
This is the
insanity.
perfect time to be doing this story.
Cancer.
New year.
New
me. JK.
So she believes that if you rest the digestive system and allow the, quote, impurities to pass out of the body, this, quote, natural cleaning process would strengthen the body.
I mean, I can see where she's coming from, but...
Okay, don't eat meat. Meat, quote, meat eaters are foolish, disgusting, and suicidal, exclamation point in her book. Do not eat meat. She calls them the sufferer of the taste of the beast. Okay, if you want to read this, you do have to exercise a little bit if you want to read that.
Your bodies are full of poison, she explained. You need to walk it out. No matter how difficult it may be, as the fast continues, you must persevere and walk. Walk, walk, walk.
Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out.
This is from the book. Quote, the wall supporting the uterus would strengthen. The irritated stomach would be soothed. Its lining smooth and fresh. And strength overall would take the place of weakness. Sign me up, baby. I'm ready to go for this.
I wonder how long we should try this and see how long we can last.
Nope. One of us would probably end up dead, as in we'd murder one of the other.
I mean, I'm never home, so you guys have fun with
John
that.
and I do not have a good chance.
You guys have fun with that.
She became so weak she could hardly even walk, even with Miss Sherman's assistance. She would assist herself by placing her hand against the wall. She had to pass my door unless she went down a flight of stairs and come up another way, and she would have to put her hand against the wall as a child walking. And the last time I saw her in the hall, it was very distressing to me to talk to her. She was so thin.
Now, the whole time as she's wasting away, Dr. Linda Hazzard's coming up to her and says, this is what she said, quote, your tongue is not clean. You are not clean. You are not fit to take food yet. Your tongue will have to be clean and your breath must be sweet.
Oh my God, at that point, I would literally be scrubbing my tongue, I think.
I know.
Yeah, but they don't have any energy to scrub their tongue. Now, at this point, we're in week 3, going on week 4. Claire was not even eating anymore because, as you're going to find out,
you just don't have the energy.
You don't have the energy to eat, and not only that,
your body. A sad day.
Your body doesn't know how to accept it anymore. It doesn't know how to accept food. You just can't go from starving yourself for 30-something days to eating a fucking cheeseburger at Five Guys.
Or it's like when you stop eating a certain kinds of food. If you start eating it, man, it really does
like your
not
body
sit
would
well.
kill you if you did that. At this time, Dora was only being fed 1 tablespoon full of orange juice, and she was getting it every hour. A tablespoon, is that the big one or small one?
Big one.
That's the big one?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like
teaspoon, big.
Which one's the teaspoon? Big one?
Teaspoon is teeny. Teaspoon is like this big.
Oh, okay, so tablespoon is the bigger one?
Yeah, I usually remember it because teaspoon
right.
is a shorter word than table.
Okay, so the teaspoon, she was getting a tablespoon of orange juice every hour, which is not bad.
Was there pulp?
That's fucking nothing.
The whole time she is just, because what do? You just sit on your bed.
And also all she's consuming is sugar.
And she goes in and out of consciousness the whole time. This is what Claire says to the nurse taking care of her. Because the nurse at the time was like, fuck, I don't even want to do this. You're killing yourself here. But they're so hypnotized by Dr. Hazzard's aura and her expertise, because she was a very commanding woman. She was very motivated. She was, how do you describe me? Like very, how
do you describe you?
Charisma, stuff like that. She was, she could get anyone to do anything.
You're a wooer. You win people over.
Yeah.
Convincing.
After the nurse left, Miss Corrigan asked Claire why she wasn't taking nourishment. It causes me distress about now, though it will pass, she said. Her eyes were tired and glassy. The poison is still in my system. I simply can't tolerate food.
If you know the doctor is trying to do well, she shouldn't, so she kills a few people. She shouldn't be in prison.
Nope, it's like that guy from The Secret. You go to jail for manslaughter.
All right. Well, let's throw a little wrench in this scenario here.
Bring it.
This is what Dr. Hazzard, this is the first time she talks to Claire. Now, Claire's the oldest sister, so she has control over the younger sister, and she kind of makes the decisions. So Dr. Hazzard goes to talk to her. This is in week 4, when she can barely even know she's on planet Earth.
I know it must be difficult to handle your affairs in a strange city in a strange country. Indeed it is, Claire answered one afternoon as she languished like a damp rag doll in her bed. You must never talk of business with your sister, the fasting specialist would say. It would be good for you to consider such matters at this time, Dr. Hazzard said. Is there anyone in your family, any relations, who have authority over you? The sister said no. We have managed our affairs ourselves. No one? No, my sister and I have been alone for so long we have managed just beautifully, Dora said. The fasting specialist continued her work, but in the coming days she made other requests of the Williamsons. I would like to store your valuables, she told them one evening. I have a safe in my office. I could care for them while you get well.
Now, they're wealthy. These 2 girls are wealthy. Okay.
This reminds me of that other documentary that we watched.
You're that guardianship one?
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna really see that here in a minute.
Holy shit.
It goes on to say after the 3rd request. Now, she's going to talk to these ladies when they're literally skin and bones on their deathbed. The doctor finally suggests, and Dora actually gave in. So she goes to the younger sister, and the younger sister, Dora, says, it might be a good thing to have my valuables in a safe. And then the doctor says, oh, and don't forget those rings, the rings that you brought with you.
She slipped the diamonds off Dora Williamson's thin fingers and smiled sweetly. Any land deeds, dear? Yes, Dora told her. I have deeds to land in Vancouver. Very well, I'll secure those as well. I'll store the lot in my office safe for a few days before I can take them to the bank.
All right, so I'm thinking we're going to end it right there tonight because the last episode was 2 hours long, and I got yelled at from multiple people about how long it was. Now, this episode is still going to be 2 hours long. It's just going to be in 2 parts. But I'm going to end it there. Next episode, please stay tuned. We're going to be talking about some of the murders, if you want to call them that, basically the gruesome details from newspaper articles and journal entries and eyewitness accounts of what some of these people went through before they ended up starving to death. And it's very, very gruesome. So look forward to that episode. We're also going to talk about how Claire ends up dying, and what happened to her body is so atrocious you will not even believe it. Basically, to give you a little hint, Linda Hazzard was doing her own autopsies and is very strongly believed that the body that was shown as Claire's body was not even hers. So where the hell did her body go? Anyway, we're going to explore that question on the next episode, so please stay tuned. I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support you've given us. Thank you for all the reviews that are coming in. Thank you for buying all the tickets to our live shows. We put our whole life into this, and the support is so amazing. And if you want to support our podcast and become a Talk Host Primo, you know how to do it. It's talkmurder.com/join. So, like I said, I'm going to end it here tonight. If you enjoy this episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever podcasting app you use. If you like this story, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're absolutely obsessed with this podcast and want to become our stalker, go to talkmurder.com/join, become a Taco Supremo, get a badass t-shirt, sticker swag, a lot of love, shout it out all over the place. Tell me what story you want me to do. I'll research it, dedicate it to you on the Talk Murder Me podcast. My name is John, here with Jen and Nicole. And until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.
my God, could you imagine being elderly now? Actually,
Sometimes
I could. My
feel
back.
elderly.
My back. I've fallen and I can't get up.
I'm decrepit.
I have this weird bruise on my leg that I don't know where it came from.
Me too. I'm so glad it's on a Saturday night too. I think it's been a lot of fun. Well, the whole place to ourselves, I think.
That is if I pick a story. Might
You
show
said you
up and
had
not
a
have
good
shit.
one.
And y'all gonna have to entertain people.
I can do that.
Yeah, whatever. Until y'all have to do it.
We got it.